Hi guys, we're back. In the last video that I made about discrimination and that thing that, all the things that I talked in that video about, I forgot to mention something that, something that is actually present in my life and bothers me to no end. Well, I'm coming from Romania, so that's a Latin country or whatever, and where people, when we have a conflict, or not just conflict, something where you have a discussion and my point of view may differ from your point of view, we can get very, how should I say, emotional or whatever. We show a lot of emotion when we talk, but it's not necessarily something something wrong or something like we're fighting. No, it's just we display emotions when we talk. It's just how we are. We're human, right? And the how should I say? I've noticed here the opposite of that, and this thing called political correctness that actually suffocates all sorts of relationship. For instance, at work, when you're trying to share, this is from my own experience, what I've encountered so far, and not just at work. It's a general fact, but what hit me is and affected me personally was at work. You realize that you can't talk with nobody, and you think that you might have a conversation and the other would say yeah, of course, agrees with you or whatever, but they do this just to be nice, so to speak, and not necessarily share an opinion or share their opinion about a certain subject or whatever. And this puts me into not just me, but obviously the other that have encountered this, in a situation where you think that you're crazy, because they say one thing in front of you and they go behind your back and just they slay you and whatever. And I've seen this so many times, and just at some point you think, okay, I am not going to talk with anybody anymore, or at least not share your true feelings or whatever. Although personally I can't do that. It's just to be fake. So I keep it quiet or just keep it to myself, and then I look to some people that I'm antisocial or whatever. So that's another thing. But seeing this stuff that affects us affects me personally, God, is how can people live like this? It's just another disease. It's just governments don't. They put they enforce all these laws where they say don't do this and whatever, don't discriminate. But in the end, it's people who actually do that. Not me. I'm just saying, normal people that we can actually change. We're talking about this we need more people but nobody's stopping you from being nice. Nobody's stopping you from not being such an anti whatever. We can support each other. We can learn about each other. We're not supposed to rely on the system to get to know each other. We're human beings. We go beyond this so-called, how should I say, not public law, but the stuff enforced by the government or whatever. We work with other laws, internal laws, and it's just so sad to see here, where I live in Germany, that people have lost their ability to be human, and to see people that are open and direct. Well, I am obviously open and direct. To see us like something exotic, or somebody else oh, she's like that or whatever. That's something. Ooh, yeah, that's the word. The best that I got from that is just she's exotic or whatever. It's just crazy, and it takes all the effort not to just retaliate. Just oh, come on, be real, people. It's just like, get a life, be human again, learn to be human. If you have forgotten that, just learn to be human again. It's not that difficult. And other things that bother me, but this is just one that I cannot really get my head around. It's everywhere, and in little things. I mean, I have discussions even with some of my family members here, but not necessarily direct family members, but anyways, let's say second and third degrees or whatever. And you think that you have a normal conversation, and people are like, yeah, as I said, agree with you and whatever, it's nice and blah blah. And then you see their reaction, because another thing that now I remember what I was going to say about this stuff with not being human and this kind of political correctness. I remember being in one of my previous jobs, and I had a colleague that actually, the moment I entered the door, she basically attacked me. It's just like, she saw me and is like, so who you are, whatever, I want to see your portfolio. It's like, how did you guys, like, although she wasn't my boss. And then I saw that she was pregnant. It's like, okay, fine, let's put that as like, because it's think that she's pregnant, so she has this hormonal stuff. But then I realized that it's just this fear of like, I'm going to take her place, I'm going to blah blah. And she couldn't stop attacking me. She couldn't stop saying nasty remarks like, well, you're not going to be here anyway for long or whatever. And I'm just like, thanks. Or yeah, I don't know how good you are. And then when she saw my portfolio, she shut up. But she couldn't stop doing, I don't know, little nasty comments every once in a while, well, more like every day. And I entered this mode like to shut her out of my mind. And I remember once I was just having my lunch in front of my computer, and I was watching something fun, I don't know, an interview or whatever. And she was talking with another colleague of mine, and then she said, so you're laughing at us, why are you laughing at us, at me? I said, I'm not laughing at you. Because I had my headphones, and whatever she would hear was just me laughing. And I wasn't laughing at her, I was just laughing with what I saw. And it's like, I'm not laughing at you. And I don't know, she said something else, and I said, look, it's enough. Enough is enough. It's like, I know you don't like me, but you don't have to be like this. And then she had the nerve to say, like, how do you know that I don't like you? Well, all the stuff that you have done so far are showing me that you don't like me, or God knows you're afraid of me, or whatever. And she was asking, like, but how can you say something like this? It's like, hello, there's body language, there's whatever stuff that I can read, and I am very intuitive, and this is another thing. I can read people's energy, and even if you don't tell me with words something, then I will know. I will know what's going on. If something nasty, something good, or whatever, I will know. And she was looking at me like, yeah, how can you say something like this? It's like, are you serious? It's just these things where people have lost their abilities as a human being to communicate with one another. I mean, if you are asking me that, then that shows that you yourself are not really a human being anymore. You have lost those abilities if you say something like this. Or, as I said, there is the other thing which is called political correctness, and they don't have the courage anymore to say what's in their minds, to like, hey, fuck, I don't like it. I wouldn't mind. It's like, if I don't like you, I don't like you either. But we have to work together, and we have to find a way. That's fine by me. I can do that. I've done that many times at home or whatever. But at least I know what's going on. Well, with this kind of behavior, it's very hard to tell, because it's always like, yeah, nice, blah blah. But behind your back, somebody is going to come with a sledgehammer, and then you're done without even knowing. And it's just very disturbing. And that's one small example. I have so many that whenever I remember, it's just like I have a hard time breathing, and just like I feel like I'm choking. But I I don't necessarily hold a grudge to these people, but I felt like I needed to get it out of my chest. I mean, because I kept it for so long. And as I said, I don't believe that everything is love and light, and it won't be love and light until we're going to be real. We're going to be human again, and humans that have developed these abilities as compassion, as true communication, as see the other as yourself, and stuff like that. It's unbelievable. And another thing that actually, this type of behavior affects other relationship, even in a family. I've noticed that. Again, people are afraid to say what they're thinking, and not necessarily that you have to be rude, but it's in like, at least I know, in a certain way you let me know. But you have this type of like fishy kind of thing where everyone is playing nice, and then you realize 3 days later that it was just some act of bullshit or whatever. And for me, it's even worse because I am, as I said, I'm very somebody who's very sensitive energetically of the imprint of the others. And when I have an encounter like this, when something is off, I need after that like 2 or 3 days to just like deal with that kind of shit that has polluted me or something like this. And I feel there's something wrong with me or whatever. It's my fault. And then it's like, for Christ's sake, it's not me. It's these people that are unable to say what they mean and mean what they say. That and then they project that towards somebody else because they're unable to be responsible for what they say or what they do after that. Yeah, it's difficult. It's one of the things that I don't like. I don't like here. Of course, there are people that are not like this. As I said, I'm not going to generalize this, but I see still there is a certain, not trend, it's stupid to say trend, a majority of people that have lost this ability. And when you are like this, well, somebody might think that, wow, there's like such it's like a breath of fresh air. It's like people that would like to be around people that are open and honest, and and it's like they're happy when they have somebody like that, like me, for instance. And it's like, oh, this is so nice that you are like these things. But most of the times I feel like I am the crap. I am the misfit, the outsider, whatever. It's just it's hard, but I try to live my life, so I just go on. So I'm just I'm hoping that one day things will change. But this happens only by actually being true to yourself, staying true to yourself every single day, even if you don't like it, even if whatever. Just be who you want to be, and don't allow this kind of situation or people to derail you from who you are, because that's even worse. Because I allowed myself to go into a situation where I try to please, not necessarily that I'm a person that try to please other people, like like a slave or whatever, but it's like, okay, let's make everyone happy and whatever. But I put myself into a situation where I end up being depressed, I end up being unhappy, and I saw that there was no value in that, because those people won't really appreciate. Just take whatever they can and move on. That's another thing. It's this thing where I said, it's like in the last video, professionally I feel like I've been raped, because it's like that's what people do here, at least in professions, and probably at home also, but I at least at home I know what's going on, I will have a discussion, I will whatever, and I will say what I'm thinking, the other person will say what they're thinking, and that's it. I like it, or I don't like it, that's another thing. But we're gonna speak our mind. Well, here it's kind of hard, and when they see that you do that, they're just looking at you like it's like she's not real. It's like, whoa, she's so direct, and it's like there's something wrong with her, because whatever. Yeah, it's just yeah. I will try to stop it here. But anyway, as I said last time, just be good with one another. You don't need government or laws to tell you how to be with each other, to be nice, and understand that other people from other countries are no less than you are, or less educated, or less whatever, are as human as you are, maybe more in certain situations. And you basically have no right to put somebody down, or to just disrespect in that way. Yeah.